day 3 of the Virtual Service Leaders Network Conference, and welcome everybody to this great event. Today is the day that we focus on delivery and installation, and this session in particular, hosted by Nationwide Marketing Group, myself, Frank Santner, and Carmine Dionisio. And what we're trying to do in this kind of member-to-member exchange is have members share ideas and help learn from other members. And so we're going to create a structure around this, and then it'll be kind of open for discussion. Because the delivery and installation is a very critical part of everybody's business, and we know that it's expensive. We know that delivery and installation has all kinds of costs, both direct costs, indirect costs. But if you would take the energy to actually, figure out all the indirect costs and fixed costs and variable costs, it would be a big number. And then you would realize, wow, this is costing me quite a bit of money to get product into the consumer's homes. So we know that when you've got expenses, as great business owners, we're going to try to figure out how to offset those expenses with revenue. And so there's these different revenue streams that we have, and various people use different methodologies to drive revenue. And driving revenue in delivery and installation is critical because you want to make sure that you maximize revenue, because it's a very costly endeavor to be doing delivery and installation. I mean, it's part of your offering to the consumer, and in that regard is very important because it is the last touch point with your consumers. So that's the good thing. Unfortunately, it does cost a fair amount of money to get done. So what we're wanting to do for this session here today is talk about the different things that you all are doing to generate more revenue. And oftentimes it's not just directly, well, let's just raise our delivery rate. A lot of times it's other things that people are doing to enable that. And so what we did is we said, well, between Carmine and I, we put together an initial list of things, and we want to talk about those and then other things that people are doing. I mean, this is just a slide that shows you got a lot of expenses, you got revenue items. The net of these two determines whether you make money or lose money in the delivery and installation part of your business. But thinking about the revenue generating ideas, which could have something to do with the pricing structure of how you price out deliveries, it could be a whole bunch of different things. And so what we came up with as just 5 things that we would like to have people weigh in on. One of them is the creation of tiered delivery pricing, where there's a free option, a pay option that includes some benefits, and then a white glove service beyond that. So there's a lot of people are using that. There's limiting the radius for the standard delivery. The standard delivery could be free, but the radius is not going to be gigantic because we've got a lot of cost and time and labor involved once you start driving bigger distances. So I'm sure people are thinking about that. There's a premium that you could charge for weekend or off-hour deliveries. And we know some retailers have successfully implemented those programs. You can have charges for hoses, filters, and other accessories. So basically, you want to make it seem like you're low price in installation and delivery, but then you got to pay for all the other pieces and parts that are associated with it. And then a 5th one that we came up with is kind of selling additional items, services. Services are easier because there's no physical product, and product protection being one in particular that is a service that can be sold. It can be sold during delivery and installation if the customer didn't already buy it. Could be sold by a service technician when they're out doing a repair. So these are just things that we put down as conversation starters. And what we're wanting to do now is find out from you, what are the things that you're doing And you can start from number one or on any one of the things on this list that will get the conversation started. So you're sharing what you're doing, and then somebody else will learn from that. Then they'll share what they're doing, and you may learn some things from them. So anybody want to kind of kick off with any one of these five, or even something, a sixth one? I mean, ultimately, our goal is to get some new ideas beyond these five listed here. So let me just pause there and see if we could get somebody to step forward and kind of tell everybody what you've got going in terms of generating revenue, or things that you feel you've implemented, maybe it could be 5 years ago, that helps increase the revenue of your delivery and installation operation. I don't want to pick on anybody. The first name that I see here. So, you know, we got some very experienced people in here. I see Jared in here. I see Mr. Nick Dalton in here. So, you know, the toughest thing is to get it rolling, and then you'll see that other people.
I'll rip the Band-Aid off, Frank. I have no problem.
There you go. I knew Nick. I mean, that's why you're near the top of the list.
So here's my basis, and I mean, although I run the service side of it, we're directly involved with delivery and install, and we've just in the past several months started to get very heavy into the training aspect. We got in and had the company buy about a dozen Fluke meters, and we have brought in initially the custom install guys, and then we're going to bring in the regular delivery install guys and train them thoroughly on electrical, what you're looking for, you know, when there's a problem, have the knowledge and the ability for them to resolve the issue in home. There's a lot of cross training. If you have a service organization and you have a delivery and install installation, that you can cross train on both sides on the same level. Delivery and install should come train service on leveling or pulling things out, product, you know, install, uninstalling of product, because our opinion is, you know, for the most part, when it comes to delivering installs as well as service, there is not really a set dollar figure of what you can charge. You can charge what you want to charge if the service backs up the price that you charge. So if you go after that white glove, you go after that ability to do a significantly better job, you can charge. And one thing that we've been trying to deal with is like, I don't know, are we allowed to say manufacturers here? Is that taboo? Or
say that again. You're allowed what?
If it's a good thing out of a manufacturer, I can name them. So Sub-Zero Wolf has a program for factory installed, factory certified install. And they have an actual certification, and it would be nice. And I don't know, maybe other manufacturers do it as well too. But if they had a certification, so you could justify why you should be doing the delivery and install, why you should be charging what you're charging, because you're more certified than the contractor building the house. So I think a lot of it is just having the training and having the certification to prove that your value is there. And that's why they should, you know, pay you instead of having the electrician or the plumber put stuff in.
And do we know of any vendors that offer a certification on delivery and installation?
Subwolf has it. It kind of came out like a shotgun, and then it kind of tapered off. They're trying to get it back going again. FIC factory certified FCI? It's factory FCI, factory certified install, and they had certifications and things you had to do it. And if they could get more manufacturers doing those kinds of trainings and specifically getting those certifications, they, you know, when a salesperson is selling something and trying to justify the delivery and install side of it to get more, you know, better margins, they could say, well, we're certified to train on this. We've trained on this specific brand. We hold this certification to be able to do the install, which I guarantee is certification that your plumber, your contractor, your electrician doesn't have. They also did a thing with the FCI install that if you did have an FCI install and you got an extra from Sub-Zero, you got an extra year warranty on the product if it was an FCI install.
Huh. Okay. Has anybody else used this FCI or heard about it?
Yeah, this is Jared at the Roasters. We are right there with that. We use that. We tout it. We put it out there because I think that's a big deal for customers to get that extra year warranty if we, as factory certified, install that subwoof product.
Now, are you, between the two of you, leveraging that FCI certification outside of Sub-Zero and Wolf, or just for those brands?
Well, for us, it's just for those brands because I don't know that any other brands do that. If they do, then I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, I agree with Jared. I think it's something that was initiated by Sub-Zero Wolf, and we're FCI certified as well too. That's what I'm saying is if this program, where it initiated, and I think Jared would agree, the kind of recertification or the continuing certification or upkeep on keeping the FCI guys in, certified, if they boosted that up and did a better job at that, and then other manufacturers could use that as a platform to do it, to have the certification. And like Jared said, it's a selling point and should be a selling point, and it is for our sales team.
So imagine if there was such a thing as a national certification in delivery and installation, similar to what there is in appliance service. What do you think? Initially, it wouldn't be broadly known, but most certifications, like the customer doesn't even have any idea. You say you've got a certification, they take your word for it. What do you think that would command in terms of additional value to the consumer? Do you feel like, is that an extra $50? Is it something less than that? Just off the cuff?
I don't know if you can charge extra for it, Frank. I think it's just, okay, on the front side, I don't know if you can charge more. You can justify charging more and you can get more installs and deliveries. And is it possible that this industry could start the process of establishing a national, like an ASE or something for automotive or something like that, where people walk in and they know what it is and know what it means? That holds some weight. And you could take, me personally, if I walked in and I bought a Monogram package, or I bought a biking package, or I bought a Sub-Zero Wolf package, I would like to see initially a certification for that installation group, that they're certified for that brand. They're not just overall great installers, but they're literally specifically certified for that product line. That would be me.
So it really is sort of brand by brand. For Monogram, it's there's some kind of GE certification for. So each one of them, the notion of a manufacturer giving an additional year of warranty is because having someone certified makes a big difference in terms of failure rates, I'm sure, or service calls, right? So it really would need to be something more by manufacturer than it would be in broad across all manufacturers. Is that
well, I think it could roll it. I think it should start, because my opinion is let the manufacturers do the legwork, because the fact of the matter is the different manufacturers, the different installations, the operation, the leveling systems, and like I said, let's just narrow it down to built-in refrigeration. If everybody's going to have different ways they want to do it, and if they do it, then all we can have to do is piggyback off theirs to do a nationwide or an SLN based certification for it, but let them do the legwork on it. I don't know what kind of success you're going to have having them throw an extra year warranty on it. I know specifically Sub-Zero Wolf went after it because of the amount of money they were paying out that they knew were installation issues or presumed were installation issues. That's why they did it. It was one thing that set them apart from other people, and it also was a financial decision.
Gotcha. Okay. So I do see that Mark Pollitt said that he has a Monogram Academy certification program. And Mark, that GE program, that is specifically related to installation or delivery and installation?
It is. It is their custom installation for the monogram, and they have created a certification program around it. As well, their assets or their information, much of it is available public facing through their website, but they also have a dedicated website for delivery and installers to give them access to technical information and training, and have that technical information available at their fingertips while they're in the home.
And so this is only for the Monogram brand within GE, right?
That is correct.
Okay, because there was a question about whether there's something similar for Whirlpool or Electrolux. Does anybody know whether is there a certification or just, I mean, let's think broadly. Who knows the certifications for Electrolux, Whirlpool, LG, Samsung, Bosch? You know, how many other brands have this? And maybe that's on us to figure that out, Carmine, to find out which brands have some kind of certification, because that would carry weight, you're saying, even if it doesn't mean that you could charge more, but it certainly is a plus for your business over somebody who doesn't have it.
Right. Well, I see Kevin has been pretty active writing some things, and Eric has too. First off, Kevin had said it's a nice incentive for the customer to go with your company instead of at your competition. And from what Kevin asked about that Whirlpool Electrolux, not from what I understand, no. Electrolux will be, Whirlpool will be up next. We can find out for sure, and then at least find out about that. And Eric said that Miele does. And Eric also, I'm going to say, probably saying it, Arik is also says that they send, I'm going to say that it says we're selling a survey visit to a builder, but I'm thinking maybe it's supposed to be sending to the contractors before they think about installing a unit. They have already bought just to show them what they need prior to fixing it, so they can fix it before they install it. So that's another good tactic to have good relationships with your builder. But yeah, we can find out about the certification program. There's a couple.
And I think that's wonderful. Let's think about ways that we could convert this into revenue, right? Because this conversation is about things that we could do to drive revenues. Maybe we're on the right path with certifications at some level can equal a justification for a premium price. Like, give us a sense. Anybody that has this kind of more white glove, so they've got tiers in their delivery pricing, who could speak to how much more money is it between the low tier and the high tier, and how do they get people to the higher tier when they're selling a customer, get them to take the premium delivery and install package because it includes all of the accessories and everything else, and it includes a certain guarantee. Who has built that type of program? Anybody on the phone could speak to that? I mean, let's just take tiers then. Is it, so Kevin, you want to speak to a little bit about what you're doing?
Won't be able to. He's going to probably write it out.
Okay, then you go ahead and read it. And
we are the only company in our area that charges for install. With that being said, every install we do is white glove type of an install. Our company has an excellent reputation, and part of that is due to the top tier customer service from every single person they encounter in the transaction with us. That's nice. Just follow through all the way. We live in a smaller community of less than 5,000, so word of mouth spreads like wildfire.
Right. So here is somebody who, the thing is right at the beginning saying that they charge for installation, and they're the only company in their area that does that. Now, you know, in most businesses, if somebody starts to charge for something that you don't charge for, it's a revenue opportunity for you, because you can now, at least somebody else was able to get away with it. And if you feel like, well, customers, they don't like paying for delivery and installation because nobody does it, then you've got Kevin here, who's the first in his market to do it. And then if they do it, then it kind of opens the door for other people to do it. He's saying that everyone they do is white glove. And I'm sure that is the case because that's what enables him to create that type of a fee structure, to charge for it. So then we got Unique that's saying that price of service call depends, it went away. Price of service call depends on the address, 150, 250. It's 30 minutes to 1 hour max. So here he's got, it's not a distance-based thing, but it's 30 minutes to 1 hour max. If it's more than that, then maybe it's the 250, but it's based on the amount of time that it takes. I guess when they sell, they tell the customer that the fee is based on up to an hour max, and if it goes over that, then
we get a little bit more. That goes back to the survey. Sorry, I was reading it. It charges a survey visit. Hey, we'll come out and do it. We'll make sure that it's done right, but we can't do it. And I've heard this before with some other high-end product, especially if you're putting in cooktops, wall ovens, things like that. Your standard, I guess, 30-inch range is just, you know, the way it is. But especially if you're selling a complete package, and doing that to the builder is really good because it'll tell you, especially with any Gen Air product or not, if you have enough airflow moving in you know, through the tunnel. So that's pretty good, Art. Thank you.
Go ahead. Kevin is saying we wrap our install and delivery. Often we'll charge for a consultation that will be absorbed if they decide to have us do the installation. So it's built into the price, but it's not, if they decide not to have his company do the installation, then they would charge for it. So that is a good strategy because, you know, this is a scenario where at the core of it, you're saying, look, we're in the appliance business. We're not in the delivery and installation business. Delivery and installation is a means to an end. It's not necessarily the end in and of itself. So if we can throw that in to make a big sale, and then the person buys the entire package, that's great. You do want to make sure that you don't end up seeming like you're not competitive in the price of the product because you're bundling it together. Maybe if it's a bigger package, it's harder to compare. But from everything that we've seen, customers are way more likely to compare product prices than they are to compare delivery and installation prices. In fact, when it comes to the additional hoses and filters and the actual delivery itself and installation, there's not nearly as easy a way to compare. Product prices are available on the internet everywhere. So there's no question that everybody's comparing those prices. And some people feel that they want to make sure that doesn't knock them out of the consideration set. If somebody sees a higher price and doesn't appreciate what's bundled into that price, you know, it could create a scenario where people don't even consider you. Just think about that. So
you sounded pretty happy there.
Say what?
Good.
To
make your job easier, then that's fine with me.
I don't know who's talking. Is that Brian?
Yeah. But was that directed at us or is that something else?
I don't know.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to mute myself. I apologize. That was to my scheduler.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Hey, Frank, we've had some success with when we have, you know, repetitive customers or larger accounts, that some of them would hesitate or not want us to get involved in the delivery and install because their guys can do it or whatever. And the way we address a lot of that is since we have the sales, we have a service, we have a delivery and install and a custom crew, is if they did not use us to do the install, and we went out and found a problem with it, we would simply back charge that contractor for the time frame it took to resolve the issue, and would tell them, if we had done the install, we would get a comp from the delivery to an install department to us, and you wouldn't see a bill. So we're not, overly crazy about it, but on a basis when they see how it affects their bottom line and it affects their dollars and stuff like that, sometimes that's a way to address it. And that's how we've done it and have had large accounts that never used us for delivery and install. And now they use us across the board because it's less hassle. Because if there's a delivery install issue, it's all handled internally on us, including property damage, water line, gas leak, whatever the process might be.
And this you're referring to is build with a builder, right?
Everything, builder, track, multifamily, everything.
Okay, but
we handle it across the board. Of course, the way you address it. So when you were talking about that tiered system, the baseline of tier system we have is we have multitude of box trucks that are referred to as just delivery and some install. And they're doing your OTRs, your packages of 30-inch range and stuff. Then we have the custom guys where we have 2 guys riding in vans, and we have like 7 of those trucks driving around, and they're doing more the custom. They'll do the OTR if the OTR is vented out, and there's a different price and a price range for that. So the salespeople know if it's a washer dryer, slap in a hole, hook up the hoses and the cord and go. Delivery install can do that. The custom guys are at a different level. We charge different for them as well.
Okay, and that's based on years of experience, that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. And the mileage things there is that we do have a radius that we will do for X amount of dollars. And when it exceeds beyond that, the price just keeps going up.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, Nick, and anybody else, knowing Nick's area, it's like, you got New Mexico, Albuquerque, and then after that, you got a lot of dirt, and then there are a couple little towns. Anybody else have that similar situation? And what are you doing? Because, radius has a big thing to do. I mean, even manufacturers are looking at slimming down their radius as far as how far they're willing to cover for even in warranty work. So I'm just kind of curious to see about who else does anything with radius and how's that been working for you?
Right. I'm sure we have people on the phone that have to create certain limits for how far they can go out. So anybody, I mean, I believe most people could speak to this.
Hey, it's Todd from Carl's. Well, we thought worked really good. We actually do a premium pre-inspection where we actually charge a customer. We go out and we have a guy go out there. We pay our techs to go out there and make sure everything is going to fit, so you don't get to that where you're believing what somebody else says on the measurements. So we go out and do that. But also on that, as far as the training, what we started doing, we have Sub-Zero come out and we do 3 training locations at our stores. And last year and this year we did it where we have all of our techs and all of our installers all attend that. So all of our guys are certified with that. And it's nice because you also get that, like I said, that extra warranty with it too.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like they've done a really good job of getting all of the retailers that carry their product to get certified. It sounds like, right?
Yeah, they've been very good to work with, for us at least. As long as you can, accommodate, and the bonus part on that also is your showroom is going to get, top-notch installs. You have them there showing you what to do, and they don't know how to do it right, or if something's off, they're going to go back and fix it so it looks nice too.
So in the case, Todd, of a regular house, a regular sale, this is not through the builder channel, it's just a regular consumer, how are you dealing with this distance? Because your stores cover a tremendous amount of open land, right?
We do, and obviously every situation is different that you have to take care of.
Somebody needs to mute.
I already took care of it.
Okay, thanks. Continue, Todd. Sorry.
With us, I mean, we kind of have, obviously we have 7 states we cover, so we have everything, laid out, so say, to help cover some of that too, so we can have some stores overlapping. But, obviously there's charges for people that live a ways away, and you just have to charge accordingly.
And are you charging it like per mile, or just it's a flat? If it's more than 50 miles, then you charge an extra $75, or give us a sense for how you're.
It's mainly per mile on it, for the most part, for all of them.
Okay, so you feel like you're able to recover the cost side of that, the additional mileage. Your fees are sufficient to cover the cost.
Correct. Yep. And you just have your rates in place with your mileage to help cover those costs of doing business.
Gotcha. Do you have anything that you the sort of premium, either evening hours or weekend hours, because people are not always home and you're trying to meet them when they're home to take a delivery? Todd?
I'd say all of our stuff is pretty much done in our normal business, say 8 to 5. You really don't have anybody doing much weekend deliveries. We did do, obviously, with all that wonderful white sand that we all had up in this area, that snow, where sometimes we had to make accommodations where, hey, we didn't deliver on Tuesday, now we have to deliver on a Saturday, making special occasions like that.
Okay, is there anybody on the call that has delved into this sort of weekend off-hour type deliveries and use that as a way to get additional revenue? If so, you can just speak out. I know we have some things that are in the chat, and maybe Carmine can get to that.
Yeah, as I was looking to see, Kevin chimed up and said that they're in Alaska, so they have selected days to go to certain areas, and they don't charge a premium service for the distance, so they're just coordinating that as effectively as they can. And Corey said they piggyback off of what Kevin said. We don't charge the customer for service trips not covered by warranty, including customer instruct. Therefore, some of our delivery fee is geared to covering our cost for warranty service trips. Since I work with Kevin, he does installs, I do repairs, so it sounds like they got a good team effort there. But yeah, I've seen a lot of that, like out west, a lot of where everything is delivered and also repaired in those specific times. I'm sure Nick does it. I don't know, Nick, do you go ahead and deliver to certain areas, especially outskirts, like way out there? And is there certain days they pick for the delivery and not charge for that?
Definitely. If you go up to Taos, Angel Fire, stuff like that, there's going to be specific days that they go up there, and there is a charge based on that. And it's it's and on the emergency evenings, weekends, and stuff like that, we run about half of the delivery trucks, so about 9 of them on Saturday, and that's just basically your basic washer dryers, 30-inch ranges. None of the custom guys work on Saturday typically, and if as rare as those emergencies come up, we just basically address those on a base-to-base scenario, depending if that emergency came to because of us or because of them, or if we're trying to help them out. It's a new customer, new builder, we're trying to lock them in, so we'll send some custom guys out on a Saturday and get stuff done to lock them in. But it's a case to case. It's not frequent enough.
Okay.
So coming back to the comment that Corey gave and not charging the customers for service trips that are not covered by warranty, including customer instruction, that's a great offer to your customer to not charge for those. And it could be that part of your business is that we just don't want to charge for those. But when you look at the cost of rolling a truck, and we had a session 2 days ago, Service Company Solutions, and they said that, and he's looked at it, in every which way. And he was dealing with service mainly, not delivery, but he said it's $110 to $115 to roll a truck. And that's a lot of money. You know, would you be willing to take that out of your margin because of these kinds of situations? Or do you feel like it's something that you got to put some brackets around it? You know, maybe it's only going to be no charge if it was a purchase over a certain amount, or if it's within a certain distance of your store, something to make sure that you don't put yourself in a position where, you know, you made a great margin on the product, but you pretty much gave it away when you ended up, you know, running a service call for no charge for the consumer. Is the consumer really expecting that? And maybe if the customer is expecting that, then they got to reset their expectations, because it is costing you significant money to do this. And I mean, you know, just saying that in these days where we're trying to figure out ways to create new revenue, let's make sure that we take things that maybe have been policies for years and relook at them and say, is this still what we should be doing or not? The problem that we all run into is that inflation has increased every single cost item, whether it's fuel, insurance, labor, everything has gone up at a pace that is scary almost. And so a lot of people are saying we got to relook at things that we haven't looked at in a long time. When inflation was 2%, we didn't have to worry about this stuff, but now we get, you know, 4 or 5 years of inflation in 1 year. Now we got to start thinking about a few things differently.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody had comments on that, what I just said, but love to hear people's comments on that.
Kevin said there are certain things that we are willing to take a small loss on in order to keep the customer happy. Again, with us being the only company that charges for install, we need to set ourselves apart to the customer. Right.
So in that case, Kevin's company is charging, you know, so that then their initial premise is to charge, but then make concessions if there's additional things that need to be handled. And I know that in Corey's case, it's the policy is that we don't charge. And I guess the feeling I had just from the different sessions and doing this is that if you're not charging, you got to make a big deal about that so that consumers appreciate and assign value to the fact that you're going to do all of this stuff for free. And maybe they need to understand just how much money it's costing you to do that, because there's generally an underappreciation of what it costs to send a truck to a house. Okay. Do we have some other ideas? Anybody, you know, the number 5 there, selling additional items or product protection is, you know, I know in other sessions we've had people that are selling product protection. Is somebody successfully doing that or successfully selling, whether it's filters or something? Maybe it's something either on a subscription basis, which is wonderful, or at least on a one-time basis to that consumer. Anybody?
Yeah, Kevin said pitch extended warranties after each install. Corey says we offer extended warranties for purchase to our customer, and they have a year to purchase. The other thing too, Frank, is after at 3 o'clock today, there's vent vision. So something to think about too is, I know your installers are on a schedule. Like, could they offer doing vent cleaning for them for a dryer install? That might be something. Even at point of sale, you can even offer that vent vision. I haven't seen the product, I've seen it a long time, but that might be something too that you can add as an extra selling item. I mean, I think it could work. How many people have been out there that said, you know, how many people out there said you got to call somebody to clean out that vent when you could probably do it yourself? We use. who is selling third-party extended warranty and who sells in, Nick asked that, who is selling third-party extended warranty and who sells in-house policies. Corey said we only sell third-party.
But basically Corey sounds like he is selling extended warranties, third-party extended warranties, so not his own. So the question is, who's doing it? Well, he's one of them that is doing it. I mean, Corey, do you want to come off mute and just say which company? Because maybe you and Nick could get together, or you could private message him if you want. Corey?
Yeah. Mark said our own.
Okay, so he doesn't have a mic. So you could then directly chat with Nick Dalton one-on-one and kind of figure that out, because selling service contracts is wonderful when you're in the home. You're actually not a salesperson, so I'm not trying to sell you anything, but if it was me, I would get this service contract because you know what could happen, and then I'll be the one that comes out and fixes it or something along those lines. It's sincere, it's not pushy, and we know that it's kind of like a third. A third of the people will always buy the warranty, a third of the people will never buy the warranty, and then a third of the people in the middle, it depends on how well you sell them. So if some of the third that will buy it will actually seek it out, if those people didn't get offered it at the point of sale, and then you offer it. Now, you do want to make sure that you don't offer something that they've already bought, because that makes the company look bad, that you've got a delivery person who's pitching me on a service contract. I just bought a service contract 3 days ago, and why don't they know that? Why are they offering me something I already bought? So that is important to be able to keep track of that.
Does everybody charge for hoses and gas lines and all that? I went to one of our members, bought my when I had redone my kitchen, and they were just throwing hoses and the gas line connector, water line, for fridge connect at no charge, and I was shocked, which saved me about $50. So I think that's a great way to. I mean, everybody else is doing it. If you're not charging for the hoses, the water line, all that stuff, I would definitely go ahead and start doing that.
And because these are needed right at the point of installation, there's not anybody that's going to be shopping around. They're ready to do this work, and it's time to get the accessories that you need to get the job done. So,
yeah, I see home appliance that we just started charging for hoses and cords. Todd said, buy in bulk, save money. Exactly. So on home appliance, I mean, how many installs are you doing a day? And I don't want to really talk about money, but have you seen what's your increase that you're seeing?
If you have that.
Yeah, if you have that.
Now, these were we'll see what anything comes back, but the 5 that we came up with just based on things that we've heard from other people, the vent, what's it called? Vent Vision?
Vent Vision. Yeah, they're on a 3 today.
Yes. That I attended. I actually kicked off that session on Tuesday that they gave, and it's a fairly simple process. There's not a lot of hardware involved. They're focused on if you're already repairing a dryer, why wouldn't you take the opportunity to offer this service? Because the biggest part of the job is actually getting the dryer out. And if you're already doing that as part of some other service on it, it makes sense to clean that, to clean out that hose. Would be a good thing. But so that's one that has a role. It doesn't apply when you're doing a refrigerator. I mean, you could offer it, but it would be much more incremental time than if you already have the dryer pulled out. But who's thought of some of these things for other appliances? Is there anything that, so we got service contracts, we got vent vision for dryers. What other kinds of things has anybody been able to have sold, either by delivery and installation, really, or even service technicians? It's something that came in the chat here. 5-7 installs a day. Most people choose to have new hardware installed on their units. That makes sense. We also have a store policy that we will not hook up to used water lines. That's a great policy. If the customer doesn't want to buy the hardware, then we will do everything to make water, let me scroll down here, water connection and note it on the invoice. Okay, so that is a great policy. Kevin says he does the same thing with gas lines. And customer, look, they're getting a new appliance. They're spending a lot of money on a new appliance. They want it to work at the premium, work completely like a new appliance. And so getting new water lines, getting new gas lines makes a lot of sense. And it's usually going to be something you will be able to sell at a high margin right then and there. So Corey's saying a $25 water line is cheap insurance against leaks. And really, that line is all it takes for somebody to say, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let me try to get into the session here. So I like that. That's good stuff. Let's see, we've got manufacturers like Whirlpool actually require a new gas line installed. So new gas lines, new water lines, really all of the accessories and parts it takes should be new. That I think that most people would agree that makes sense with their new appliance. Good. Any other kinds of, it could be something way out there that somebody has come up with that they can share with everybody. We will not hook up to plastic water lines. This is Joe Carlin saying that. So now we've got some other restrictions. So if there's an existing plastic water line, we're not using that. It's going to be a new one, and it's going to be a better one. And the sort of cheap insurance, you don't want to go with. You don't want to buy a nice new appliance, then cut corners on the installation and risk that your product is not working at optimal performance. Perfect. That sounds wonderful. But still looking for some number 6 to add to our list, because Carmine and I, we were planning to get this to 10. We're stuck at 5.
It's tough.
Does somebody have some new ideas, or maybe there are no new ideas, but we kind of just threw out there, we're looking for 10 of them that can generate revenue. We had, this was some session I was in at one of the prime times, and one guy said, his business is, now the economy has slowed down, his business is slower. What he does is he rents out his truck, one of his trucks, to do moves. So basically, he's got his team that is doing small moving jobs to sort of build more revenue into his delivery and installation, because the trucks are a fixed cost. He has the employees there, and he wants to fill in their time, and he does that through moving. That's something that, maybe some people think is crazy, but in his case, it fit the bill. He's got the available time, he's got available time slots, so he schedules moves. Is there anybody that has anything like that's just, way he's thinking beyond just the business he's in? He's got a resource and he wants to optimize the use of that resource and maximize the revenue of it.
Wait, Facebook, boy, you're onto something, Frank. Just was thinking like DoorDash for appliances, or like Facebook Marketplace. How many people want to do that? I mean, wow, that's a thought.
You got to write that one down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have diversified your approach to delivery and installation, it it might change the kind of employees that you're trying to hire, because if they're doing more things, then you want to make sure that you let them know that during the hiring process. And so that's kind of what one of his challenges was, that the people that he has, they never knew they were going to end up doing moving jobs. And then he had a little bit of pushback from that, but they preferred doing moving jobs than not having a job. Or is everybody still booked way out there? Todd, are you guys booked way out there in delivery and installation? Or are you caught up?
Yes. 1 to 2 weeks. Oh, Kevin's saying 1 to 2 weeks out.
Okay, so if you're 1 to 2 weeks out, I mean, is there anybody that is 1 to 2 weeks out and then set up a premium? So there's the regular installs are 1 to 2 weeks out. Somebody needs the product sooner. Well, we've got this other tier of choice slots, but they come at a premium, because we're going to have to. We reserve these for our VIP or for our premium white glove. Is
so
where
if
these
all
slots
about
are
doing
reserved.
that, then you're tying up a delivery spot and hoping that you're going to fill it with your premium pricing. That'd be the downfall for that. With everybody pretty much booked out, you have to fill up each day to get everything out.
And can you hear that, Carmine?
Not real clear, Todd.
Give it another shot.
So that's hard to have it that way with reserving a premium spot, waiting for somebody to come. Then you're wasting a delivery spot. I think everybody just has to book their schedules to the max every day, and hoping your delivery crew shows up. Otherwise, you're scrambling and somebody's having to go to fill in.
Yeah, so you don't have that kind of luxury. You don't have that breathing room, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Every truck, every person, they're already tied up. So is there anybody that has, I think there was, that actually has extra capacity in delivery and installation, or we're looking at everybody is really, busy? Because it's when you get less busy that you start to think about what we're referring to here, these new revenue ideas, because all of a sudden your revenue is not what it used to be. They're for service, but not for installation. Speaking of premium spots. Okay. So the premium spots would be, would you, Nick, reserve some of your slots for this, or would it be that you push something else out if you end up selling a premium slot?
Either. The problem is it's the same thing as manufacturers that want you to give them, slots in your schedule where but if you fill them, you're good. If you don't fill them, you eat them. And, if somebody told me they wanted me to save them 4 spots a day, and then if I filled them, great. If I didn't fill them, then they comp me for those 4 spots. We could have a conversation about it, but I can't, like probably everybody else in this meeting, you're booking so far out and you got to maximize each hour of each day. When we're talking about it on a service standpoint, is if you're going to get a premium spot, you're going to pay a premium price. And if you're paying a premium price, then the technician is going to get, we haven't implemented it yet, but we've been talking about giving the additional rate of giving that technician somewhere between 40 and 60% of that extra charge. And they would simply run it after hours. That is an easier process on a lot of levels to do with the service technician in a vehicle who takes that vehicle home. When you're discussing that with delivering install, now you got to very possibly deal with somebody at the warehouse, scan stuff out, pick stuff up, load stuff up. Normally a 2-body gig, that adds a lot more. You'd have to charge a seriously premium price to make it worthwhile. I'm not a fan of blocking out spots, because as soon as you do, they don't get filled.
Gotcha.
Hey, Frank, there's one in here. Kevin, Jason, it's just a thought, something he's not doing, but wrap it up real quick is a lot of people from COVID don't want to come at our house, customers that can't get out like the elderly, setting up a premium premium like a premium inspection service and a sales service that they'd go out to the customer's home and kind of measure it up and say, and have the sales material with them say, here's what you can get and what we can sell you. Like, you know, just like that home decor flooring, they all come out, measure everything, and then sell you whatever carpet, you know, they have. So that's something that he's considering doing. Anybody else do that? Like go out to do like have a salesman on the road that goes out and takes care of that? That's a good one though. I like that.
Yes.
I mean, the carpet industry's doing it. My brother's doing it.
And then we had Corey. He says we run 2 trucks. One does drop-offs at least 1 to 2 days a week, and the other does their installations. However, when we end up getting 1, 2, or 3 weeks out, we will activate the second truck to do installs. You scroll down. There's, where was I at? No, sorry, I scrolled down too far. Second. Are you on that one? I lost which one I was on here. Oh, a second truck to do installs with our B crew, and then i.e. not Kevin, haha. Okay, so basically he's managing 2 different trucks, and he's alternating. You know, when he's further behind, then he's taking the second truck and doing installs. So the thought is optimizing your resources and managing them in a way where you get the most out of them, because the truck with the maintenance and fuel and insurance, everything else is a big part of the equation. You do want to make sure that your trucks are not just sitting in a parking lot, that they're in use pretty much all the time. Is there anything left in your comment? I know we're kind of running out of time.
Yeah, we're at 1:58. So I love these sessions. Right? I love these sessions too. And we have a member-to-member. If anybody that signs on MemberNet SLN, there's a member-to-member session that we have, and we can talk about delivery and install during that session too. It doesn't all have to be about service. So it's every Wednesday at the end of the month at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me. I can probably throw a quick pop in the. To sign in and register, and please, I'll leave this open. I'll just do this real quick. I love these discussions; they're great, and that's the member-to-member. So, thank you all for your time and all the participation. I think it's awesome. It continues to grow, and we'll add some new ideas to our list, Frank, and take it from there. So.
We appreciate you being here. We're going to be sending out a survey, and we would like your feedback, because the only way we get better is by hearing the things that you want to hear more of, less of, and we'll take that note of that and do that for the next session we have next year about the same time. On that note, much appreciated.
Yeah, great meeting. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, good feedback. I like it, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Bye.